Little Orange Plum.
Hello everyone and welcome to Little Orange Plum. So I did miss last week, sorry about that, but I'm back and today we are looking at r/not how girls work. Okay, so for our first post of the day we have mansplaining happens because women always look confused, aka a man mansplaining. Yeah, this is actually from a TikTok post. I'm pretty sure I follow this person because I recognize this comment thread. So yes, we have basically, it's from a TikTok. We don't really need to see that because it's basically just a girl explaining, what mansplaining is and like how the situation comes up and stuff like that. And in the comment section, it's just like a bunch of guys being like, well, I don't feel like mansplaining is real, and also let me mansplain what mansplaining is to you guys, and then like mansplain your explanation of my mansplaining. So it's it's like mansplaining inception basically. Starting off we have, okay, but mansplaining, okay, so what I get from this is when a man explains something complicated as something simpler. No, it's specifically two kind of situations that I see where it comes up. We have one situation where a woman is like an expert in something. She's like, this is like her area of expertise. For me, because of like my theatre and dance training, it would be when men try to explain basic dance or theatre concepts to me, because I'm the one with a decade's training and a university degree, and obviously when there are other men in my field who want to talk to me and want to explain concept to me, that's fine. It's when men who've maybe watched like a TV commercial with a ballerina in it, and that's their understanding of ballet, and now they want to explain ballet to me despite having never taken a class, never sat through a full-length ballet. Bit awkward. But yeah, and it's always that moment of, why can't I have an opinion? You can have an opinion, but you need to understand that you do not talk down to me as though you are more experienced and educated in a subject you have never actually studied, to women who have a decade's worth of training and expertise in that field of expertise. And of course the other situation is, yes, sometimes explaining things more simply, where, you get the man who gives his standard explanation to the room and then the simplified explanation for the women in the room, because he assumes that the women in the room need it simplified, that we couldn't understand it the first time around when he explained it already. But okay, yeah, that's a severe oversimplification of what mansplaining is, and it completely removes the element of condescending misogyny. But well done, man, for trying to mansplaining to women. So the creator then replies with, when a woman already understood the thing in the first place and didn't need it explaining. Yes, that's fair. It is, as I say, those two kind of situations that come up. Either it's your expertise, and of course you don't need your area of expertise explained to you by people who's not in area of expertise, or it's a simple concept that any normal, well-functioning person could understand the first time around, but he felt the need to repeat it simpler for the women in the room, as I say. So yeah, good explanation of explaining it without having to give. I would say the creator's done a pretty good job of explaining that, as did the original video, if I recall correctly. If this is they've not actually linked the original TikTok that this is referencing in the comment section, but I'm pretty sure I've seen it. Pretty sure she did explain it well. And then someone has replied with, then just tell the man politely, ladies, you have to remember to be always polite. When a man is being rude and condescending, you are not entitled to be rude back. You have to be delicate, feminine, polite, ladylike. No, sir. If he was mansplaining, he was not being polite. I should not have to be polite back. But okay, then just tell the man politely that you already understood the topic very well. I mean, I feel like one of the iconic, when this word first came into the lexicon, when it first became popular, was that moment when a man who is not college educated and who has no affiliation with astrophysics, rocket science, or anything like that, proceeded to try and explain rocket science to a NASA rocket scientist, presuming that because he is a man who has never been to college, who has no formal academic education in rocket science or astronomy or anything like that, that he would somehow no understanding of physics or mathematics or anything like that goes above a high school level, but because he's a man, he actually tweeted at a NASA NASA scientist who has a PhD in rocket science and then proceeded to simplify an incorrect, factually wrong explanation of rocket science to a rocket scientist, and then a bunch of men defended him, saying that she was the one who was being ridiculous, because obviously if you're a literal NASA rocket scientist, then obviously being female whilst a rocket scientist means that the men know better than you. Still, that was the situation where mansplaining became that was the first time I heard of it, and it's definitely the first time I saw it really blow up in the media and be like covered by a lot of people. But yeah, you need us to politely and softly and sweetly and delicately remind you that if you're an uneducated lout who has no formal understanding of rocket science, then you're not the man who is the right person in the right place at the right time to be explaining rocket science to a rocket scientist. You need us to politely take you aside and softly and delicately and sweetly and femininely explain that to you. Really? You need that, sir. You need this. It's just the inception of him explaining, mansplaining. Like, dude, at this point, you're intentionally trying to be obtuse. But the creator responds, "We do, they don't listen. I'm now going to politely ask you to leave my page." That's probably the right response, because I feel like at this point, if you're there going, I don't get it. Like, why don't women just tell men? Like, if situations like this come up where you barely graduated high school and you're trying to explain advanced concepts to a PhD who is formally employed in the experience of her PhD, I feel like it's not something that we can just simply explain to you. Like, you're trying to be dumb at this point. But yes, we have a bunch of people underneath this who've responded. They've said, no, don't just assume that you're the smartest in the room, that everyone else is waiting for your explanation. Yeah, it does kind of feel with these men that it's the level of ignorance where you think you're genius, but actually you're stupid. You know, there's a point where like dumb becomes confidently dumb. That's the kind of the where this mansplaining thing tends to come from. But then we have, someone said, mansplaining basically means when women already understand it completely, but the man decided to explain it to the women like the women are stupid. Someone else said, it's men assuming that women doesn't know because she's a woman. No, it's because women always look this guy's then come back after all of these women have given fair, simple explanations of what mansplaining is. And he said, no, it's because women always look confused, so they should ask her if the woman's confused. If she says yes, then explain it to how you learned it. Sir, you are forgetting. This is not a situation in which a woman has looked confused and then her man has politely asked if she's confused, and then she said, yes, I'm confused, and then he's explained it, and then she's complained about him explaining it. This is a situation where he's gone ahead and done that by assuming that she's confused because she's a woman. And this is kind of a thing that comes up a lot. So you're kind of making the assumption that women always look confused. Has it ever occurred to you that maybe the reason why women always look confused around you is because you walk into a room utterly confident that you are smarter than them and are acting smarter than them, but you're actually really, really, really dumb. And so now they're confused as to why you think that what you're saying is intelligent and why you should be respected for what you're saying when you're really dumb. Like, as I say, it's that point of being stupid where it's like awkward. Yeah. The creators now replied that now this is getting sexist and you need to leave or be blocked. I'm guessing he was blocked because it just kind of ends there. Yeah, it's that, like, even this comment of this, so then you should ask if she's confused. That's still a situation that would only occur. The mansplaining is not him asking if she's confused and then politely explaining. It's him rudely interjecting his explanation into a conversation where it wasn't necessary and just assuming that it's her fault. Like, that he would still be at fault. This is not her. Why are you trying to fight us, sir? Sir, you're hurting my brain. Why are you trying to fight us on this? Anyway, I'm just gonna, as I say, I did miss videos last week, so I'm just gonna make this a really long one because I've already rambled on a lot and we've only done one post so far. So next we're just gonna keep going. We're just gonna go, women pretend to be good musicians to get attention, apparently. We have, the other day I wrote a post about how easy it would be to grow our music and visibility just by helping each other out, as well as we are so many in this group, even if just half of this group, but is easier to be a beautiful woman, and all the men put likes and follows with her, follow her without even knowing if she has good music. It's pathetic. With envy and indifference, you won't go anywhere. What's your point, sir? I mean, yes, I can understand that a beautifully presented music, like image-wise, is going to grab your attention more. It's not necessarily that I can understand where you're kind of coming from, that yes, the looks, it is annoying that looks are a big thing in the music industry. And it's not, you don't necessarily have to be a beautiful woman. There are plenty of other ways you can present your music visually that's beautiful, but you do need to understand it's a competitive industry. And if you go into a competitive industry and your first attempt, because you can't just play all of the music on top of it and have like 1,000 different new pieces of music all playing at once, because that doesn't sound good. That sounds like a cacophony. It just sounds awful. And so, of course, when people are going to look at new music, they're presented with a screen of images that advertises this sound. They don't start off with the sound. They start off with an album cover or some other short intro video, which is going to be their first reaction is visual. And the thing is, yes, if you're a beautiful person, and it's not just women, it's men as well, then you are going to have an advantage, regardless of whether your music is good, at getting yourself noticed. And it's not that men are dropping likes on beautiful women's videos just because they're beautiful. It's that their music is going to get noticed more because their thumbnail, their starting image looks better, is more interesting, is more appealing, and therefore they're going to get reviewed more. And like, the thing is, yes, you will get more exposure if you are able to present your music beautifully. And if you're not a physically attractive person, don't put your ugly mug on the thumbnail. Create a beautiful piece of artwork that represents the kind of music you do, represents you as an artist, and showcases what is good about you, that you are able to create beautiful artwork and beautiful music, not look sexy and look pretty. And acknowledge that if the music is terrible, I mean, do you remember the song Hot Mess? Because the girls were cute in that. There was that song on YouTube that's like, no, it's Hot Stuff, something like, I'll Google it, I'll look it up. There's two teenage girls, perfectly attractive, and I distinctly remember there being an enormous amount of criticism for their looks, because a lot of people being like, oh, they're not even hot enough to get this attention, the music is bad, this terrible music is only getting attention because the girls are attractive, but they're not even that attractive, kind of constant spewing in the comment section. It's like, the girls have straight up said they never wanted to be serious musicians, it was just something they did for fun. There's no need to have all of this drama over a stupid comedy video that kids did for fun when they were teenagers. But for about a week and a half, years and years ago, this video, this terrible music video, became very, very famous, and it's because the girls were attractive, and it's very creepy when you realize the girls are underage. So these two underage girls got enormous amounts of attention because they look cute and were wearing sort of skimpy, I guess, kind of skimpy outfits, and parading around in a beautiful setup in a limo and all of that stuff. And therefore it doesn't matter that they can't sing in tune, the music is terrible, the lyrics are bad, because they got exposure for being good looking. So yeah, exposure is going to happen, but they're not going to get likes. That was not well received. If the music is genuinely bad, they'll get the exposure, but they will also get slated in the media. And remember Rebecca Friday, cute looking girl, decent looking girl, terrible music, I would argue bad music, got severely mocked and bullied for her music, but got the exposure. She got noticed because she was attractive. And visually, as I say, the first impression, weirdly, that we have of new music is of the cover of the album. It's of whatever image is being that's being used on Spotify or anything like that to represent this song, or it is of the artist's face and body, not of actually hearing the sound. So yes, we notice beautiful people's music more than we notice ugly people's music, sadly, regardless of talent. But beautiful people producing bad music do not get likes for producing bad music. They get mass hate and extreme notoriety, infamy rather. They become infamous for being bad at music and being famously bad at music. But yeah, I can understand it's difficult for a struggling artist to be frustrated that you can't get exposure. But again, use your brains. Many men are very willing to be exploitative of women's bodies. It's very common in the music for men to exploit women's sex appeal and women's attractiveness. How many music videos you've seen? Male artist has 20 half-naked women bouncing around in his video. It's completely unrelated to the actual music. It's very exploitative. The women were mistreated and poorly paid on the set, also that he, as the male artist, can make money off them. Don't act like there weren't options for how you could get your music noticed. Don't act like you couldn't have put a hot girl on your cover and that it would not have been creepy and exploitative if you had profited off of someone else's looks and then whined about not looking like that yourself. You had options, sir. As frustrated as you are, you can easily fix the situation. And you probably don't even need to be exploitative to do it. Anyway, I'm just going to keep rambling today because I'm making up for lost time last week. We have, yes, I remember finding the class clown in my school so fascinating. What the heck is this about? How a woman sees a man in general. They're all the same. Nothing interesting. One guy stands out from the crowd by being the loudest. Women. He's so mysterious and different. I hope he notices me. I don't know. I don't know. And any girl can attest to this. There's definitely those one or two girls who really stand out in physical attractiveness and confidence and stuff like that, who, like when you're in high school or when they're in the workplace, they're the ones who get the attention sexually from the men. They get it from all of the men. All of the men try it on with them. All of the men usually get rejected because she's usually not even available. And then they stand there going, the man stands there pouting going, all women ignore me, all women just notice the one special guy, and the rest of the women in the room are left standing there going, excuse me, all of us average and below average looking women are completely invisible to you. You're completely oblivious to our existence, and you're whining because it's also true for you. You are average, and therefore you are invisible to extraordinarily attractive women. We're also invisible to you, and you're average looking. I'm just saying. And especially because I just know there's probably some guy who's listening to this who wants to respond with a comment. Let me recite your comment for you right now. It's going to go something along the lines of, yes, but I'm different. I notice average looking women and I would totally give an average woman a chance. I would be so amazing. I would be the most special guy to an average looking girl, and she should be so grateful because you think that women need your pity, that a woman who is not incredibly sexy needs to be pitied by given a pity date, and that you're doing something majestic and wonderful by acknowledging the existence of not stunningly gorgeous women. But when women don't always pay attention to average looking guys, this is somehow a different situation? No, it's exactly the same. It happens both ways. There's absolutely no reason for a guy to complain about it happening to men by women because it happens to everyone. Beautiful people get more attention. They just do. All across the board. And it always does get frustrating when guys want to act like, oh, I would be different. I would treat women who are average looking so special. But you had the opportunity. There's plenty of mediocre women out there, and you're probably pretty mediocre yourself. You'd probably be very equally and fairly well paired with a mediocre woman, because most of us are average. Most of us are in the middle. We're not extraordinary. We'd be very happy and very well paired with someone who is similar to us and who is also pretty in the middle as well. And if you're gonna come at it with this whole, oh, but there are beautiful women, and so obviously I'm lowering myself by going for someone who's the same as me. But yeah, as I say, I already know there's some guy who wants to comment that. That will be his comment, that will be his logic, and I've heard it too many times before. Anyway, what does this even mean? Girl gets lonely by choice, XD. It's sad that she's getting harassed, but please don't equate male loneliness with female loneliness by choice. Again, we are all human. We all feel lonely at times. Please do not act like your loneliness is somehow special or elevated above a woman's loneliness. Again, this is coming from the whole unattractive women are often so invisible to men that it doesn't register. that women can genuinely be lonely and ignored in the same way that unattractive men are sometimes lonely and ignored. The difference is usually, because look at it this way, most wealthy men have a beautiful supermodel girlfriend. Most powerful men have a beautiful supermodel girlfriend. Most famous comedians have beautiful supermodel girlfriends. Most beautiful men have beautiful girlfriends. It's across the board. Women can have intelligence, success, money, a good sense of humor. These are bonuses. They are not the standard. The standard is you have to be pretty to be noticed by men. And, case in point, the most common group to get cosmetic surgery, to try to spend the most money and to do the most extreme things for the sake of making themselves look more physically attractive are actually gay men. Okay? Men who know as men what men like because they are men, and who are physically, sexually attractive to other men are the most likely to get cosmetic surgery. There's plenty of, I'll go look up the studies that have been done on this, but they are the most likely to get it done. They're most likely to consider it, because they, one, are being looked at by people who want superficially pretty people. Yes, intelligence matters. Yes, a good sense of humor matters, but only if you're pretty. You won't be looked at if you're not attractive. As I say, there are plenty of ugly comedians who have beautiful wives, ugly male comedians who have beautiful wives. There are plenty of powerful, ugly men who have beautiful wives. There are plenty of wealthy, ugly men who have beautiful wives. There are plenty of charitable, ugly men who have beautiful wives. Because when you're a woman who is looking for a man, you have to be beautiful first and everything else is secondary. When you're a man who's looking for a woman, yes, there are women who are superficial out there. There are women who are not. There are women who will notice what you look like, but that's not their priority. It's not priority number one. And as I say, when men look for other men, there is no pretense, there is no lying and saying, well, men and women are just different, because it's a man looking for another man, and so therefore he's going to be honest and he's going to admit men are superficial, men like good looks, men will prioritize attractiveness, and that is why gay men feel such pressure to get cosmetic surgery. Simple as. But okay, sure. Women are never lonely except by choice. There are no ignored, forgotten, unattractive, straight women. Sure. Whatever you say, dear. This has gone on for 20 minutes, so I did want to make up for lost time for last week, but I'm just going to do one more. We're going to do top shelf. Top shelf women need constant attention, so what do bottom shelf women need? Persistent shunning? I prefer to be alone most of the time. Yes, top shelf women must be showered with attention and approval. If you don't give them that, then they seek one who will give them that. This is because few women can be alone, especially if they want a child and a home. So I don't know why hookers give themselves away so cheaply. But anyway, what the fuck? A man can be alone. In fact, a man is better off alone. So why would anyone shower him with praise or affection when they get nothing in return? Affection is a non-monetary payment for something in return. No, I'm sorry, but the whole I want to be alone to work on myself thing is such a girl thing to say. It's a stereotype. It's not that men don't do that. It's just that it's such a stereotype for girls to be like, I want to work and be alone and work on myself right now. And also, how does this logical fallacy work in your head? Women who want a husband and child, women who want a partner and child, and to live that traditional in the home lifestyle, because there's women who want a child in a home. So you mean traditional women who are looking for a traditional be a wife and mother thing want to be with someone? No shit, Sherlock. Of course, if she wants to be with someone, then she wants to be with someone. If she wants a family, then she wants to have a family. What are you trying to talk about? Don't act like there aren't women who can't be happy being alone. Of course, if you're looking specifically at the traditional women who want traditional wife and child lifehood, then of course they're going to want that, because that's how you're defining them. They are the women who are defined by what they want. What they want is a partner and a child and a home and a family and that traditional nuclear stuff. And you don't understand why hookers give themselves away so cheaply. She's not property. I just, ew. it's a little bit disgusting, but honestly, like, it's very disgusting actually, especially when you finish it with the line, affection is non-monetary payment. Honey, are you a psycho? I feel like this did not need to be put on the internet. This needed to be said to a psychiatrist as part of court proceedings to determine whether or not you should be allowed to proceed with a plea of insanity. You should not. You should be convicted for whatever you're going to inevitably do as a psychopath, sir, because that's just like, that's disgusting. You see genuine love and affection as a form of payment. Ew. And this whole men don't need praise and affection. Yes, men do. And men don't usually get it enough because of stupid toxic masculinity that says that they're not being manly enough if they admit to having emotional needs, the same as women have emotional needs. That's not manly, that's just human. But okay, thank you for interjecting with that, my little psychopath. That was disturbing. Anyway, that's where I'm going to end this video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This has been not how girls work, and it is most definitely not how girls work. Definitely would recommend following the sub. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.